So I took a little break from this formula series to see like what I wanted to do with it, where I wanted to go, what I wanted to change. So it has been a little bit, but this is episode 3. And we're going to go over some date and time formatting. Now I have a video on this channel that is specifically for date formatting, and I am going to go through a little bit of that on here, but I am going to focus more on time and use cases for time in Notion. For example, we're going to create an in-season produce database to see what fruits and vegetables are in season or not in season. You can simply look up a chart like this on Google, transfer it over to Notion, make a formula property to see if a particular food is in season or not in season, depending on the month you're in. And we're also going to create a simple timesheet, Monday through Friday, calculate clock in and clock out times, include an hourly rate to see how much money one would make in a work week. Just a simple timesheet like that. So yeah, formatting and 2 use case examples. So let's just get right into it. So I set up these databases in advance, and what we're going to do is first, so we've gone through this before, but there is a function to recall the time and date of right now, and that is just now, open parentheses, close parentheses, and you can press done. And you'll get, right now it is October 1st, 6:03 p.m. So we'll just keep that there for now. We're going to go back to that in a moment. First, I want to show you how you can format dates in unique ways incrementally, and then we'll go back to that one to customize that date. So to find the weekday, we're going to use that now function, but you can totally replace this function with an actual date property, going prop and then name of the date property. But we're just going to use the now function for the sake of convenience. So how format date works is format, capital D, date, open parentheses, close parentheses, and within here, what you're going to do is grab that date property or the right now function, which I'm going to do here. Within these quotes, I'm going to tell it how I want to format it. So here, I want to find the weekday, and that's it. What I'm going to do is go lowercase d 4 times, and that will give me the weekday. Now, as you probably noticed, 1D is giving me a number. That's giving me the 4th day of the week with Sunday starting at 0. So today's Thursday, it would be 4. 2 would be an abbreviated weekday. And then 3 letters. 4 would be the whole name of the weekday. Going on to month, there's a few ways you can do this. You can either go month and either the date property or now. You'll notice that now property also has this open and close parentheses. You want to make sure that's also in there. So this is giving me 9, and right now it's October. That's because it's starting January at 0. But if you don't like that, you can either go +1, or you can format it. Like that weekday, format date. I want to format now, comma. In these quotes, I want to go M, and you'll get 10. So this format will give you that 1 through 12, not the 0 through 11. 3, you're going to get abbreviated month in 3 letters, and then 4, you're getting the full name of the month. What you can also do with that single M is add a lowercase o after it, and you'll get that TH or ST at the end, or ND. Now to get the date, to get that 1 from October 1st, I could just do date of now, and will give me that 1 in a numerical value. If I want it as a text value, I will use format date now and go capital D. And again, if you add the lowercase o after it, it will give you the ST. Find the year, you can just go year now. It'll give you 2020. If you just want 20, format date now, and go Y. Now you can get the year and text value doing this, or if you go double Y, you'll just get that 20. You can also do a single apostrophe to make it something like that. Now as for time, again, you're just doing format date now, and within here, you're gonna do H for hour, colon, MM for the minutes, space, lowercase a for AM or PM. If you want that AM or PM to be capital, just a capital A. If you want military time or 24-hour time, capital H. Also, if you just want the hour, you could of course just say H. Or if you want it as a numerical value, you can just go hour and then now. Now from here, if you don't want the 24-hour cycle and you just want the hour of right now being 6 p.m. in numerical value, what you're going to do is go mod 12. Now you can also get the time zone, which is pretty neat. Again, with format date, now, oops. And you're going to go lowercase z. I am on the East Coast in America, so it's going to say EDT. If I wanted it in a different style, I can go capital Z, and I could even go capital Z, and it'll give me something like this. Now, as for the quarter, in the same fashion, we're just going to put a capital Q, and if you want TH at the end, lowercase o. Right now we're in October, so we're in the 4th quarter. Now a timestamp. There's 2 ways you can get a timestamp in Notion. But I will say, there is a limitation, and I'll go over that right now. So the first way you can do this is timestamp now. There is a function for it, but the function only goes up to minutes, not seconds or milliseconds. Now, if you want to get rid of these zeros at the end, you can use format. So format date for now, and you can go lowercase x for that long form timestamp in the same fashion, just in the text value, or uppercase X to shorten it a bit. Now, if you want this in a numerical value from here, you're going to use toNumber, and that is lowercase t, but uppercase M, and enclose all of it in here. And you can do that with anything here that has numbers. For example, if I do it to the quarter, even though it has that lowercase o, it will still just grab that 4. Now, before we go on to part 2, I want to show you how you can maybe use the month to create this in-season produce chart. And I'll show you the final product here. I made this back in March, and it's just a reference page. It's going slowly because it's quite large. In my in-season database view, I'll see everything that's in season this month. And the way I did that was I used a formula here, and I said, if month now equals 0, so that would be January, and prop January, now just putting in the property January is me telling it, is it true? If this is the case, then I want the box to be ticked true. And I just copy and paste this one line over and over again until I get down to 11, which in this case would be December. And then I created a filter in this database view where in-season formula is ticked true. Now everything in this little example isn't right. I just randomly ticked boxes for this example. So let's just do the example of last month and this month, so we don't write out that whole formula. I will leave that whole formula in the template link, but let's just do those 2 months. So if month of now equals 8 and property September, again, September is not 9, it's going to be 8, then I want it to be true. I'm just going to copy this, paste it, and change 8 to 9 and September to October. If not, false. 2 conditions, so 2 parentheses at the end. So it is October, and the only 2 ticked for October are apples and oranges. So that's pretty much how that's going to work. Now, let's find next month. I'm going to copy this code here. So instead of September, I'll just say October. I'll just shift them over. And instead of October, I'll say November. So that's how that database works, and how you can use the month function to make it. Going back to part 1, let's just go and format this now date in a couple of different ways. So we can do something like capital L. So what this is doing is giving you this slash in between each element of the date. This is a little shortcut that you can use. You can also go capital L, capital L. You could do 3 to also give you the time. So this is replacing something that looks like this, right? Where it's lowercase d 4 times, the month, the comma here, the day, and the year. Instead, you can just use capital L 4 times. And you can also get the time in there. You can also go lowercase l, which instead of giving you the date in 2 digits, we'll give it to you in 1. You could do double, they'll give you the abbreviated month. Triple lowercase l will give you the month, abbreviated, and the time, and 4 of them. You can also go L and then LT. LT will just give you the time. And again, all of these formulas are going to be in the public template to copy and paste. Okay, so now let's move on to part 2 here. So let's say I want to find 2 days prior to right now. I would first use this function called dateSubtract. Again, we're doing this lowercase for the first word and uppercase for the second. dateSubtract from right now. Now I'm going to say how many days I want to subtract. That would be 2. Another comma to tell me what do I want to subtract. Well, I want to subtract the days. You'll notice that it's also including the time. So the reason for this is because the now function that I am grabbing this from includes the time. So it is assuming it wants to keep the time in there. But let's say I don't want to keep the time. Let's say I would do something like this. So dateSubtract from right now to days. I'm going to format this. So format date, open parentheses to open it up. This is the date I want to format, comma, and we're going to format it to show double L. So if this now isn't here and is instead replaced with a date property, let's, for example, fill this one out, and instead of now, say prop shipped, I will not need to format this because this property does not include a time. So when I dateSubtract, it will just give me September 29. Now let's try to find something that is 2 weeks from right now. For this, we're going to go dateAdd and go now. And I want to add 2, instead of saying days, I'm going to say weeks. And then I could go ahead and format this to just give me the date without the time. Let's find something that's 2 months from now. Just dateAdd and now. I want to add 2 months. Except this time I just want to show the month that's 2 months from now. I just want to show December. So again, format date, wrap it around here. And I'm just going to show the month completely spelled out. So 2 months from October will be December. So let's assume that these products over here are going to have a shipped date that will include a time. What I want to do with that property is find the arrival estimate of that shipped product. It will approximately take 3 days to arrive to the customer. Again, we're just going to do dateAdd property shipped 3 days. But what I want to do here is just have the date, and then I want to add some extra text. So format date, just give me it in this fashion, exclude this time, but what I also want to do is add the words between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. and I can add it here. If I just simply add it within this format date quotes, it'll be all wonky. So in order to tell it that I just want this to be text within here, I'm going to put it in these brackets. Now let's see if this product was shipped in the morning or the afternoon. So the easiest way to do this is use the hour function. Hour, and enclosed within this hour, I want to find the hour of this shipped property. Another way you can find properties quickly is to type it in and it will autofill. And this is in military time or 24-hour time. I want to say that if this hour is less than or equal to 11, then, now in order to make this an if statement, we're going to put this parentheses before it. This replaces the word if. This question mark is going to replace the word then. So if this, then, let's just put in some custom emojis. Show me 4 check marks. Otherwise, that will be colon. Just show me a blank space. So this is another way you can customize this ticked checkbox. All right, let's go into part 3 and work with date ranges a little bit. To make a date range, you're just going to press this end date, and we're also going to include the time. I want to find the amount of days between these dates and the amount of hours. So to find the amount of days, you're going to use the function dateBetween. So how dateBetween works is you're going to find the first date, comma, and the second date, and what you want to find between them. So in this case, I want to find the days between these 2 dates. Even though it is one date property, you are working with 2 separate dates. You're working with the end of the date range, end of property date range, and then you're going to close that out because there is an open parentheses here for end that you need to close between the end and the start of the date range. Close that out in days. Even though it is October 1st to October 3rd, it is one day with a change of hours that are less than 24 hours. So we're also going to find the hours left over. But first, I want to format this to be text. And we're just enclosing this entire formula. I'm going to add another element that is also going to be formatted. And I can probably just copy and paste this. Except here, I want to find the hours. And I also want to add a space between these 2. So I'm just going to go in here, between 2 quotes, just add a space and another addition sign. 40 hours is the amount of hours altogether. So to find the hours remaining, I'm going to use the mod function, and that's that percentage button. And I'm going to do it within here because this end parentheses is the format function end. Squeeze it in here and just go parentheses 24. So it's actually 1 day and 16 hours. And from here, if I want to add some text, actually in here and say days, or maybe just dy, and then add over here hours. Go down here and do another example, see if it works. Say October 2nd, 12 p.m., say the same day, and do 6 p.m. That's giving us 0 days and 6 hours. All right, so now let's find the hours plus the minutes in the same fashion. And actually what I'm going to do is just copy this and edit it. Instead of doing days in the beginning, let's do hours plus HR and then minutes. Here I'm going to go mod 60. Here we have 40 hours and 10 minutes, which is accurate. 12 to 22 would be 10 minutes, and there are 40 hours in between. Now let's combine all of them together, do days, hours, and minutes. So to do this, I'm going to copy and paste days and hours, and then add to it minutes. Just copy the minutes part of here with this plus sign. Oops, just 1 plus sign. So that's the way you can do that. Now let's use this practically. So what I'm doing down here is creating date ranges from Monday to Friday, including the time, and assuming these are clock in and clock out times, including this hourly rate property, also in the form of a formula. And the reason I'm doing that is that every single time I add a row, it will automatically populate so that this formula here, where I'm calculating the total amount of money I'm making in the week, the hourly rate will already be there. To find the total amount of hours this week, you might want to do something like date between the end of property Monday and the start of property Monday in hours. I have it in dollars. Let's just put it in regular numbers. As you can see on Monday, it isn't just 4 hours. You also have that 15 minutes. So to include the minutes, I'm going to make sure that this says minutes. I'm going to copy this and put a plus here. And I'm going to add Tuesday. I'm just going to erase Monday in this second line and write Tuesday and Tuesday again down here. So on and so forth, all the way down into Friday and Friday. Now that I've added all of the minutes together, I'm just going to divide the whole thing by 60 to give me the hours. So I've worked for about 22.9 hours this week. To incorporate that hourly rate, naturally just go multiplied by prop hourly rate and turn this into dollars, and you'll get a shortened number here. So that's how you can create a simple timesheet using the principles up here. I know I have made a video about this in the past. This is sort of like an extension of that, going a little bit more in depth. I'm excited to keep making these videos just about formulas. Let me know, what do you want to know next? Also, if you have any questions regarding this video, you can ask me down in the comments below. Since I have nothing else to say in this closing, thank you for all the wonderful comments. I'm telling you, they're like making my whole life. They're made, like, really, it's incredible, especially being quarantined and just working on this stuff and the website. I'm very isolated, so it's nice to see those comments, like, for real. I know I don't respond to every single one right away, but I am trying my best, and I appreciate you, and I see all of them. Also, I'm almost at 2,000 subs. That's stressing me out. But very, very cool. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sticking around. That's it. Do I have anything else to say? I don't think so. I am going to be back early next week with another build with me. I want to revisit a bookshelf template that I was using a few months ago. And that's it. See you guys then.